Am I wrong for throwing my husband out after finding nudes from the nanny?
Why would you even ask? I think she just needs validation.
I'm new to Reddit, but my little sister suggested I ask here. I'm 28 female, my daughter is Cassie, 11 months, and my husband is Alex, 35. So basically, it's just what the title said. I had Cassie and then returned to work, psychologist, and I could never be a stay-at-home mom. I'm actually French, but live in the US, so when I returned at the 4-month mark, as I had a difficult birth, we looked around to find a nanny to look after Cassie while myself and Alex were at work. We saw a few girls, but then one of Alex's colleagues suggested his daughter, who had dropped out of college. Let's call her Liv, 20 female. Everything went well. Admittedly, I did notice her being quite attached to Cassie, but I brushed it off as a good friendship between the two. She also liked Alex. It was obvious she had a crush on him, always batting her lashes and giggling. I actually found it amusing as I'm confident in myself. He always laughed it off with me too. But then on Thursday night, he asked me to do something on his phone while he bathed Cassie, and I saw some pictures flash up from Liv. When I looked at them, they were obviously sexy nudes. She was wearing skimpy lingerie and in a provocative pose. I looked back at the history and she had been sending these for a while. As far as I can see, Alex never responded, but obviously texts can be deleted. When I asked him, he got defensive and told me to stop using my psychiatrist tricks on him. I was not happy with his non-answers and it ended up in a shouting match waking Cassie. So I got him a bag and threw him out, told him he's not welcome back until I have answers. I'm considering taking Cassie back home to see my family in France for a little bit. His mom and friends have been blowing up my phone saying I'm being too harsh and they were harmless texts. Nevertheless, I feel disrespected and that doesn't fly with me. Was I too harsh? Should I expect his claims that he never responded?
Her psychiatrist tricks on him, literally just asking him, are you cheating on me?
That's the quickest gas.
Stop using your tricks on me! I asked you if you're cheating on me.
There are pictures, sir.
Yo!
What are these? Like, what?
That's crazy. I hate when people bandwagon on the one who's like doing the bad thing. I hate that. I hate when people feel enabled and encouraged to continue their bad behaviors. Because you always look at the reaction and never what's causing it. And then you're like, oh, she's crazy. Well, why is she crazy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do think that's a red flag. If you are talking to someone new and they're like, all my exes are crazy.
Definitely. Definitely.
Who's the common denominator? You.
Exactly. Like, you have to be able to take accountability to some extent.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to blame yourself for like everything, but also you're like, there's certain actions that I could have done differently, or you know, it's all about self-reflection and self-awareness.
Well, and I feel like for this one, she does say he never responded. But if you were innocent in this, you could have like approached your wife after the first pictures came through and been like, hey, the nanny, I did nothing to initiate this, but we have a problem on our hands.
And why would she feel so comfortable as to continue to send them if he wasn't responding?
Exactly. Like, I know there are some women out there, and there's some guys too that probably get off on it. I think maybe she's 20, she's just very confident and just kind of like naive and maybe just going in hard and just being like, I'm gonna keep sending until I get asked not to.
But I feel like news though is such a vulnerable thing that like when you don't get a response, you're like, you kind of just like, what the fuck? Like
the rejection of it.
Like, something that you're expecting someone to be like, oh my God, you look so good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to continue to send that if I'm not getting the validation. Yeah, I feel like he's definitely.
You don't think he's telling the truth that like.
Hell no, there's no way he could be telling the truth.
Am I the asshole for jumping off a train before the doors closed and abandoning my pregnant wife?
Oh, what?
I know the title sounds crazy. I'll try to explain this as best I can. I'm 29 and my wife is 25. She's also 5 months pregnant. Recently, we decided to go on holiday together. Nothing fancy, just to the coast, which meant we had to get a train. We had maybe 3 rolling suitcases and one of those army-style backpacks. There was no issue as we boarded the train, and we sat down and put the luggage next to us. About 20 minutes into our journey, we heard an announcement over the speakers that the train was being diverted, which meant it wasn't going to stop at the station we needed anymore. As it was saying this, the train was coming to a stop at the next station. I panicked and told my wife we had to get off or we weren't going to be able to get to where we needed. I got up and started grabbing our things and rushed off the train. I couldn't believe it when I looked around and saw she hadn't gotten off. She was trying to grab our third suitcase. I had the other two and the backpack.
Oof.
Unfortunately, it was too late, and even as I rushed to the doors, they closed. My wife looked like she wanted to kill me, and the train pulled away with her on it. Can't you just envision her face standing there?
Yes.
Like this is a movie.
Yes. I can picture it.
I called her to tell her to get off at the next stop and I'd get the next one and meet her. But she was absolutely irate and told me the holiday was canceled and she was going home. To top it off, she told her family and mine, and they're all furious at me for abandoning a pregnant woman on a train, headed to God knows where, with a heavy suitcase. My father-in-law told me I was an idiot for what I'd done. I feel like I was in the right, but my wife and family have other ideas. So Reddit, am I the asshole?
To me, this seems like just an honest mistake. Like, I know he probably should have made sure she got off first. That's probably the right thing to do. Like,
yeah,
in my mind,
5 months pregnant.
He should have made sure she got off first.
Yeah.
But I feel like he was kind of like acting under pressure and like kind of just fucked up.
Am I the asshole for asking my ex-husband for his sperm? My ex and I were married for 8 years. We got married at 22 and I got pregnant at 30. Then I discovered that he was being unfaithful to me with a coworker while I was pregnant, so I asked for a divorce. He seemed quite remorseful and he didn't want a divorce, especially for our daughter. We share custody and he pays support. My ex-husband is very attached to my daughter. He has the right to see her 2 times a month, but I let him see her whenever he wants. So he comes to my house about 3 or 4 times a week to see my daughter. My ex wanted us to try our relationship again, but I said no. Now, 2 years after our divorce, I want another baby. I don't have a partner and I don't want just anyone to be the father of my baby. So I asked my ex-husband to give me his sperm so I could get pregnant again. I made it very clear to him that he did not have to pay child support for the new child. He simply has to be a sperm donor. He accepted and even said that he wanted to take care of the baby if I became pregnant. I told my mother about my plans and she called me an idiot, since according to her, I am, quote, giving my ex-husband wings that we could be together in the future. My mother told several of my family, and I've been getting a lot of harassing messages about how I'm an idiot. Several of my family were against the divorce, saying that anyone can make a mistake, like the one my ex-husband did. Am I the asshole for asking for my ex-husband's sperm? Am I the asshole if I call off my engagement because of a comment my fiance made about my late wife? For some background info, I, 43 male, have 2 children with my late wife, Kayla. Sam, 21 male, and Liz, 16 female. Kayla passed away when our kids were 15 and 10. I won't give specifics about how she passed, but she was struck by a drunk driver when she was on her way home from work. She really was the love of my life, and to say that her passing hit our family hard would be an understatement. I promised myself that if I got back into the dating game, I wouldn't date anyone for at least a couple of years for the sake of my kids. 3 years after my wife's passing, I met my now fiance. We'll call her Amanda. Things went slow, and I didn't introduce her to my kids until we had been dating for about a year at that point. Now we've been together for 3 years and are engaged. Amanda and my kids have always had a good relationship. Neither of my kids are super close to her, but they've always been friendly and welcoming to her. And Amanda has never overstepped any boundaries my kids have, like trying to replace their mother. At the beginning of Amanda and I's relationship, she was a bit insecure of the fact that I was a widower. During the first few months of us dating, she would constantly ask things like, if Kayla had never passed, would I still be with her right now? I always kept my answers brief and told her that I didn't like thinking about the what ifs and that she was the one I was dating now and that was what mattered. Eventually, she stopped making these comments and I stopped worrying about it. Now on to the issue. My parents were hosting a family dinner to celebrate my fiance and I's engagement. It was my mom and dad, my late wife's sister and her husband, Sam and Liz, and me and Amanda. Dinner was going well. We were all making small talk with each other and talked about wedding plans. About halfway into dinner, my mom made a comment about how she was so happy I was able to find the spark I had with Kayla in someone else. I don't think anybody really paid much attention to the comment, but then Amanda laughed and said, quote, "I'm happy she died. Otherwise, I would have never have gotten him to myself." The tone of the dinner immediately shifted, and everyone got extremely tense, especially my kids. Amanda noticed the shift and started awkwardly laughing like she was trying to play off her comment as a joke. I was honestly just frozen, as that was the first time she had ever made a comment like that. My kids looked disgusted, and Liz got up and walked out to her car. Sam waited a bit longer, like he wanted me to say something, but I was still in shock about what Amanda had said. To make a long story about the dinner short, the dinner was kind of ruined. So I said my goodbyes to everyone, grabbed my fiance, and we all drove home. My daughter hasn't spoken to me or Amanda since, and it's been 3 days. I got tired of it and pulled my son aside to ask him what I should do. He said something along the lines of, quote, "I'm a grown man and don't care who another grown man marries, but I don't want a woman who speaks like that about our mother around my sister." Sam's comment stuck with me, and now I'm considering calling off the engagement entirely. She's never made comments like this before, but I'm worried if I let it slide this one time, it will become more frequent and it will affect my daughter. I need some advice from outside perspectives and just want to do right by my kids. Would I be the asshole if I called off the engagement because of the comment she made?
You're not the asshole no matter what decision you make here.
Am I the asshole for refusing to lend my designer purse to my sister-in-law for her wedding? I, 24 female, have a Chanel purse that was a gift from my parents when I graduated college. It's by far the most expensive thing I own. My brother recently got married, and his new wife, Amy, asked if she could borrow my Chanel purse for their wedding day photos and reception. Amy doesn't own any designer bags and really wanted one to complete her wedding look. I politely declined to lend her my purse. That purse is extremely valuable to me, and the thought of something happening to it makes me anxious. Amy called me selfish and materialistic for not lending it to her for the wedding. She said I was more concerned about a status symbol than helping family. My parents,
Says you. Like, what?
my parents and brother also got upset with me, saying I should be willing to share my things with family, but I don't think I should have to hand over my most prized possession just because it's for a wedding. Now the whole family is angry with me. Am I the asshole for not lending my sister-in-law my expensive designer purse for her wedding? She's acting like I ruined her big day over this, but I think it was an unreasonable request.
Well, first of all, no, I don't think you're an asshole. If you don't want someone to borrow your stuff, like you don't owe them that. And if it makes you really anxious too, why should you have to put yourself in that situation? I mean, it's an expensive purse. And outside of it being expensive, it was a gift from your family members.
Yeah, there's sentimental value there.
Yeah, so there's a lot of importance behind that purse. So I don't think that OP needs to explain herself. If she doesn't want to borrow something to somebody, then that's it. But what I thought was so funny is the sister-in-law's reaction. I mean, it's like, why do you want somebody else's purse for your wedding photos? I mean, it's fine, but why are you so upset? And then you're going to say she only cares about a symbol. Isn't that what you're doing?
Pot, kettle?
Yes, exactly.
Like how I thought it was so comical.
Right.
Like, you're calling me materialistic because I won't borrow you my purse so you can appear in
Yes.
photos like you're wealthy.
Right.
It's a status symbol.
Right.
That sounds materialistic to me. My 27 male roommate, 27 females, boyfriend, 31 male, planned a surprise proposal against her wishes. I kept quiet, and now our friendship is strained.
Oh.
How do I fix this?
Oh.
So me, 27 female, and my friend slash roommate, Nicole, 27 female, have known each other since university. Nicole has been dating her boyfriend, Brandon, 31 male, for roughly a year. Honestly, none of us are fond of Brandon, but he was Nicole's rebound from a long-term relationship, so we all kind of assumed that he wouldn't be around for long enough to make a stink about it. To my surprise, a couple of weeks ago, Brandon messages me asking me to help plan a surprise proposal for Nicole for their 1-year anniversary. I pretty much knew for a fact that they hadn't discussed getting engaged beforehand. Because Nicole has on multiple occasions mentioned that her relationship was, quote, not that serious. And not even 2 weeks ago, she said that they would probably break up before she moves to work on a master's next year.
No. Oh no.
Anyways, for context, here's how my conversation with her boyfriend went. Brandon, him asking me to plan a surprise proposal. Me, oh, that's exciting. Does Nicole know you're planning on proposing? Brandon, no, and she isn't going to. I want it to actually be a surprise. Please keep this between us. Me, in that case, I wish you luck, but I won't be helping. I really don't think she'll want to be blindsided with a public proposal. Brandon, well, you can either help or I'll be doing a Jumbotron proposal at our city's professional hockey team's game. Your choice. By the last message, I assumed he was just trying to manipulate me and I stopped replying. I really didn't think he'd be stupid enough to propose at an NHL game since Nicole hates hockey. I didn't want to meddle, so I just kept quiet to Nicole. To my horror, a couple of days ago, Nicole messages a group chat with us and a couple of friends and tells us she's dumping Brandon. When someone asked why, she said, quote, he told me to dress up for a special night he planned for our anniversary. He brought me to a fucking hockey game. I realized I screwed up by not telling her before, so I called her frantically and texted her to get the hell out of there if she doesn't want to be proposed to on the Jumbotron.
Oh no.
Thankfully, she saw my text before it happened and left the game before he could propose. They got in a big fight afterwards and broke up before Nicole got home that evening. Nicole is furious now and has been acting really off with me. She's pissed I didn't tell her about him wanting to propose in that way. Honestly, I just don't know what to do here. I feel like I was just put in a shit situation
Yeah.
and Nicole is acting like I'm the reason all of this happened.
No.
Is there any way to at least kind of mend the friendship and get back to normal? We're supposed to live together as roommates for several more months after this, so I'd really like to move past this.
I mean, I think that she was put in a difficult situation because what if roommate and friend did want to be proposed to and now you ruined the surprise?
Yeah, it's not her place.
No.
At all. Like,
Yeah.
you are with your partner for a reason. If you don't want to be together, you don't want to accept a proposal, it is okay to say no and then break up. I think on the flip side, if she did secretly want to and was just talking a big game to her friends,
Yeah.
like, we're probably going to break up when I move, but
Mhm.
secretly she wants to,
Yeah.
she would be pissed that you ruined it.
Mm-hmm.
So it could go either way. Like, it's not your place. It will
Yeah.
work out how it's supposed to work
Right.
out. Like, she still saved you
Mm-hmm.
because you texted the group what you did.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for expecting my brother to pay for a new phone after I damaged mine, saving his son? My 19 male brother, 24 male, was watching his son, 3 male, when they were over at our parents' place this weekend. But he got distracted for a minute and my nephew fell into the backyard swimming pool. Thank God I heard it in time and jumped into the pool and saved him. We are all aware a tragedy could have happened. Everyone is still in shock. And my father already started working on gating the pool. I did have another kind of financial loss though, because I had my cell phone in my pocket when I jumped into the pool and it is now dead. I told my brother I will look into buying a new one and send him the bill. He thinks he is not responsible for pain and says he cannot believe that's what I'm asking about after his son almost died. So I said it was his fault that his son almost died. He should be down on his knees thanking God and kissing my feet for saving his son's life. And the least he can do is pay for a phone of my choice. My mother says to give him time. Am I the asshole for insisting here?
People are fucking assholes. It's crazy to put yourself in that headspace, but like, if my brother saved my child, I would be forever indebted to him forever. I'd be like, how can I thank you? Like, getting you a new phone is not even enough. And also the trauma if he didn't save the kid and that guy's a fucking hero.
He's a hero.
This
is crazy that
who
you
are these
have a
moms
problem.
too who are always going against the people?
Give him time.
Give him time. I need to text people. I don't have time. I need to use my GPS.
Give him time. No, how do you function?
Also, I haven't had a new phone in like forever. It's not like it's 30 grand.
No.
Put him on a payment plan. Let's just like, I don't know. It should be the first thing out of the brother's mouth being like, oh, I got your phone. You got my son. And I'll also I would give him my house. I'd be like, you can have my house.
Am I the asshole for refusing to do a portrait for my boyfriend, leaving him without a wedding gift? I do digital portraits, mostly as a hobby, but I've gotten a few commissions here and there. A while ago, my boyfriend and I were hanging out with mutual friends, and my boyfriend suggested in front of everyone that I do a portrait as a gift for someone's upcoming birthday. While it was a little annoying to be volunteered by him, I did think it was a good idea and went ahead and did it. The next time a birthday in the group came up, my boyfriend made the same suggestion. And as a result, quote, the birthday portrait has kind of become my thing. My boyfriend will get something small as his gift since he views the portrait as being from us. The part where I may be the asshole is that I haven't told him explicitly to stop volunteering me for these portraits. It is my fault for going along with the birthday thing for our friends without saying anything, but I kind of assumed that he would at least keep these requests within the realm of common sense. Well, his college buddy is getting married, and my boyfriend told him that I would make him a portrait of him and his bride as a wedding gift. I have never even met this person. To make matters worse, he apparently made this promise weeks ago, but only told me about it today, and the wedding is this Saturday. 4-day notice. I finally lost it at him and told him that I'm not his personal portrait sweatshop, and that he only does this because he's a cheapskate, and it gets him out of spending any money on a gift, even though it costs me a lot of time. He argued back that a bespoke portrait is so much better than just buying something off of the registry, that it's a generous thing for me to do. It helps build my portfolio, and that I don't get very many paid commissions anyways. For the record, I don't get many paid commissions because I don't charge peanuts for them. I have a full-time job, so I price according to what it would be worth giving up that amount of free time that it takes me. He told me that I put him in a really difficult position, that he hyped up the portrait, and they were both really looking forward to it. He said, please just do this one and I won't ask again. I said no, I don't even know these people, so this is not my problem. He looked up a couple of portrait artists online, but none of them were willing to do the piece on a short turnaround he needed at the quality he wanted and at a price he was willing to pay. He even tried using an AI image generator, which was a complete slap in the face to me as an artist.
God.
But all of the outputs were very obviously AI. He's begging me to just please do this one, and he will make it up to me on my birthday. But especially after he apparently thought my work was so worthless that it could be effortlessly reproduced by a machine, I'm just really not in the mood.
Wow, it escalated. He
He
started digging that hole.
could have just been like, babe, I'll pay you.
I was about to say,
I'll pay you.
be like, I'll pay you for your work since this is super inconvenient.
You're
and
right.
You can't, it's hard for you.
Yeah, you're right. This is the last time I'll ask. Let me just pay you, please. I get it. I get it.
I feel like it started where like I didn't think either was the asshole. I was like, he's proud of her. He likes her stuff. He also low key likes not having to buy anything.
Yeah.
And then she was doing it, kind of worked out. But at one point, I think she should have communicated to him like, can you just not promise people things without talking to me first?
Yeah.
Because I've definitely been in that situation with family where people be like, oh, I promised like 10 people tickets to something.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, okay, you have to ask me first. And then I'm an asshole because I can't get it. And they're like, you're putting me in a bad position. I'm like, I never agreed to even be in this position. So I get how she feels.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But she should have had a little more boundaries with it. But it's weird with your significant other because it's fun to be like, yeah, we're getting this and he likes what I'm doing. But this whole last thing, the AI shit is wild.
You literally thought you were going to create it yourself using AI versus just get down on your hands and knees and
I
beg.
go, here's a pencil, figure it out.
Am I the asshole for refusing to let my wife wake up our daughter to see a bear? My wife and kids, 12 female, 10 female, 8 male, 6 male, 4 male, and I just spent 3 weeks at our cabin while we got some repairs done on our house. Our 10-year-old Rose has leukemia. A lot of the activities around the cabin are outdoors, and Rose doesn't usually have the energy for that. So one of her favorite activities has been watching the wildlife from this big window seat in the master bedroom and taking pictures of what she sees. Her goal since she started doing this was to see a bear. There are some in the area, but it's not too common to see one. She has me take her up to the window seat after dinner and usually falls asleep watching for bears. Towards the end of the 3 weeks, I had to take her to the hospital for chemo, 3.5 hours each way. That night, she fell asleep in the window seat again, and when I got up to carry her to bed, there were 2 bears close to our cabin. I called my wife over to see, and I took a picture on Rose's iPad, but my wife wanted to wake Rose up so she could see. She hasn't gotten to see a bear this trip. I told my wife she needs to rest, and that showing her the picture would be enough, but my wife still tried to wake her up. I stopped her again and got Rose in bed. The next morning, I told Rose that there were bears last night, and I showed her the picture. She asked if I woke her up. I said yes, because I didn't want her to get upset, but my wife told Rose that I wouldn't let anybody wake her up. We did not see any more bears for the rest of the trip, and Rose has been devastated. She refuses to speak to me and deleted the pictures I took for her because apparently it doesn't count. She's even refusing to sleep next to me. She's been sleeping between me and my wife since she got sick. So my wife has had to sleep in Rose's room since the trip. My wife is even talking about taking Rose back to the cabin for a week to try and see a bear. I don't think it's a big deal, but my wife and Rose are still upset with me. So I wanted to know if I was the asshole.
I mean, he was trying to do the right thing, but like
Asshole. Am I the asshole for not letting my brother's boyfriend choose my wedding dress? This situation is ridiculous enough that I wouldn't be asking about it here if not for my brother not being on my side about it, something that has never happened before. I, 24 female, plan to get married in July. Me and my brother, 22 male, have been incredibly close to each other since childhood, and for this reason, I have made him into my man of honor. We've never even gotten into a fight with each other since middle school, at least until now. Now my brother has a boyfriend, 25 male, who desperately wanted to be involved in my wedding planning. I found his eagerness a bit odd, but harmless at the time, so I let him in. However, he started sending me links to the wedding dresses he said, quote, I should totally be wearing, which I looked over, but none of them looked like my style. I eventually did choose a wedding dress of my liking. However, my brother's boyfriend sent me a message saying, quote, wow, so you didn't even bother seeing my suggestions? Why did you waste my time trying to help you?
oh wow.
I told him that I did look over it, but none of the dresses he sent seemed my style. And then he replied with, quote, I didn't know your style was Moby Dick the white whale.
Oh, wow.
But all right then.
Wow. That is too much sass. Too much sass.
I was shocked at what he told me, as he never seemed to be the type to be rude to someone. Not to mention, he knew I have insecurities and issues around my weight.
That's so mean.
I told him that his opinion on my wedding dress is frankly irrelevant because I'm the one who has the last say on it, and I thought that that would make him apologize for his previous offensive remark. Instead, he just said that I'm a controlling bride and I intentionally set him up to try to help me just to waste his time for nothing. I told him that if he's not happy with my decision, that he doesn't need to come at all, as I don't need his negativity around.
Yeah.
He didn't reply back. However, my brother called me to accuse me of treating his boyfriend badly, and I shouldn't have dismissed him like that. I told him how rude he was to me, but he just said that his boyfriend's just a bit of a fashion critic and didn't try to hurt my feelings.
He's got the
Yeah.
love blinders on.
But I told him that I just simply didn't like the wedding dresses he sent me. My brother then went on saying that I only dismissed his boyfriend because I don't respect him as an effeminate man.
Oh my gosh.
I have no idea where this even came from, and that if I don't apologize personally, then he'll drop out as the best man from my wedding.
Wow.
I feel like this entire situation is crazy, and I don't know how my brother's boyfriend managed to paint me as the bad guy in front of my brother, unless there's a reason I'm overlooking for why I'm the asshole. Am I the asshole?
No.
No, this is a T-ball one.
What is up with these
What?
crazy people? The brother is like essentially implying like you don't respect my boyfriend because
Right.
he's more feminine, because
Right.
he likes fashion. There's straight men that love fashion. Like what does that
Yeah.
like
No, it's
That has
just
nothing to do with
drawing
any of this.
blank
Yeah.
conclusions. It's just like connecting this to this just because you want to. In all reality, she let him in almost as a courtesy
yeah.
to say, okay, fine, like, sure, come be a part of the crew, but I didn't like anything you said.
Why are you letting a significant other come between you and arguably the most important people you have in your life? Like they are your ride or dies. They are your day ones. Like you and your boyfriend break up. Who do you think is going to be there for you? Your sister who loves you so much to make you a man of honor. Like,
yeah.
It's sometimes hard to not be manipulated by the right people.
I know.
It
That's
can,
what's scary about love and like relationships and like blindly trusting someone.
and it can be so subtle
Yeah.
too, to where it builds up and you don't realize, to where they're controlling like even these thoughts, because clearly when you're on the outside, it doesn't make sense.
If a female was doing that, saying like, you're not picking out the dress that I'm picking for you. You know what I mean? Like imagine if I was doing that to you.
And you were mad that I didn't like your choice.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like,
It just isn't my vibe.
that just doesn't, I can't even see that even computing for a second. So I don't know why, again, back to that conclusion, that doesn't even, where does that even pull any weight,
No.
that comment?
It's super strange.
Yeah.
I really want to see pictures of the dresses now, but also let's just point out that he literally called her a Moby Dick looking whale or whatever,
Right?
using an insecurity against her. Like,
Right?
I don't know how the brother didn't see that and be like, hey, that was super inappropriate. Like, I get you're upset that, like, you feel like time was wasted, but, like, you kind of inserted yourself there. And, like, that was a low blow. Like, you know, my sister is insecure about weight issues. Like, that was unacceptable.
I'm put off. If I'm an ex, I'm put off. I don't care what you have to say, what you have to do, where you have to go. I'm put off.
My dying wife asked me if I'd be okay if she had sex with her ex one last time. I said no.
We spoke about this the
about
other
this.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We actually spoke about this the other day.
My people haven't heard this yet, so
All right, cool. Let's do it.
it'll be good. I can't have this tied to my main, but I really need to say something about it and have no one I can tell. My wife has a terminal disease. She's projected to live at most 9 months. I, of course, am destroyed. We've been together for a decade. I don't remember life without her, and I don't know what I'm going to do when she's gone. I've been doing my best to make the last days of her life good and grant whatever wish I can. The doctors said that she was likely to need a wheelchair in 4 or 5 months. Then, by month 8, she'll be bedridden for the last few weeks. That's if she doesn't decline faster. Recently, she sat me down and told me that one of the things she wanted to do was have sex with a previous partner of hers. I, of course, was shocked and asked why the fuck she wants that. So basically, she thinks that her most physically compatible, most satisfying lover was him. She gave a whole monologue about how sex sometimes is just physical and how emotionally fulfilling sex is with me, but it was bullshit to get to that point. So now I'm left with this, denying my wife a wish for my own ego, or let her go fuck another man whom she feels was better. Honestly, I'm so pissed off and betrayed that she asked this of me. I feel like I'm put in a position where I have to say yes because she's dying. I know what I want to say, but I don't know if that's right. I'm so hurt that sex with an ex was apparently so good that she needs to do it once more before she dies. I just hate everything about this.
That hospital won't see me again.
Yeah.
That hospital won't see me again. And first and foremost, she has to bell or speak to this said ex. And let's say I'm the ex, right? I'm not receiving a call from an ex from like X amount of years ago.
Yeah.
I said, I'm trying to I've got 9 months to live and I'm trying to I can't hear that over the phone. Can't tell me you're about to die and one of your dying wishes to I'm put off.
Yeah.
I'm put off. If I'm an ex, I'm put off. I don't care what you have to say, what you have to do, where you have to go. I'm put off.
Having sex with a dying person puts you off?
I can't receive a random message from an ex and say, listen, I'm about to go in eight months.
I'm trying to get this in pre-wheelchair.
Facts. And the psycho in me will probably think, I'm going to do more damage to her than good. So I don't even want to facilitate this wheelchair-bound situation. You see what I'm saying? So I'm off. It's off the table already. The whole thing's off the table.
Honestly, though, if your partner asked you this, would you, even though you're married and they have 9 months left, would you be done? Like,
I'm over it.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm entirely
because
over
that's a
it.
disgusting dying wish. Because she's thought about this for a minute since her first round of chemo. She's thought about this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me.
For the sake of orgasms, you want to leave this earth with this on my chest for the sake of an orgasm.
How is
That's
that going to make
great.
me? I have to deal with this for the rest of my life. You're
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
You don't have to think about deal with it anymore. Like it's unfair.
Yeah, it's brutal.